Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Today we're going to go and take a look at the free-to-play Towa here. This is the free-to-play character that's released with this year's Heroes batch. I think that she's okay-ish. I mean, she has abilities that I think really are good to see on a free-to-play character. Support and dodging and stuff like that, right? I think that a failure of a lot of free-to-play characters is free characters oftentimes are giving, like, crit and a ton of damage and stuff like that. And I think in the end, that just ends up hurting the character, right? When they could have focus on other abilities that will make the unit much better. Now, keep in mind that Towa, Dokkan, I guess over the last couple of years, they've kind of set it up now to where every hero celebration will probably be formatted the same, right? Where, you know, we get the one free-to-play EZA, and then the next year that character EZAs, and, like, another character will come out, right? So Towa should EZA next year. We went with a full dodge build for her. She is a dodging support character, so I don't really see any reason why there's an issue to go dodge with her like this. Let's hop into an event and let's see some of the numbers she can get with her support. She does create STR key spheres, so certainly we could say she could be a very viable asset to Dark King Fu. And remember, Dark King Fu is pretty good, so a unit to help him out, that's not a bad thing at all. Alright guys, so we are here in an event, and right away we get Towa. This is actually a very good rotation right here. We got Towa alongside Dark King Fu. Now, remember, Dark King Fu, right? Dark King Fu is a very capable character, but the one thing is that he is going to need either Rainbow Orbs or STR Orbs. Fu needs one of those two things and able to sort of be at his best, right? So, Towa, she gives all allies one key, 10% attack and defense, and changes AJL key spheres to SCR key spheres if all allies are Dragon Ball Hero category. On top of all allies 20% attack and defense that she gives if there's another 3 or more extreme class allies on the team, which we of course do have, right? We have Dark King Fu, Super Saiyan 3 Rose, and then Demon Goddess Towa. Those are all of the different kind of like supports or extreme class characters that we've got. So, I mean, we could maybe get away, like, we could go into a tough fight, and Towa is going to have a 30% chance to dodge as the second or third attacker in the turn. So, like, she could potentially do some stuff. Now, the only thing about it that I think I don't agree with is, so they made it to where, again, she's going to get a 30% chance to dodge if we had her, like, in slot 2, like this. But why not just give her 50%? I don't mind, like, typically restrictions all over free-to-play characters at the cost of making them good. I think it's totally fine. I think it's fair. But, you know, 30% is a little low. 50%, and I think I would be feeling much better about this Towa. Alright, so let's see what her stats are going to jump to after we get Fu's support in right there. So she's at 197k. So Towa, right, is getting 150% attack defense start of turn. She gets 100% attack and defense on super. She has a medium chance to dodge in slot 2 or 3. The support we talked about. Then she gets another 50% attack and defense on super attack if there's another 3 or more extreme class allies on the team. So she's basically at 150% attack and defense start of turn, then 150% attack and defense on super, plus the 30% support. That would be all the numbers that Towa is actually getting, right? And then in terms of our link set here, not really the greatest, I guess. Just demonic power with Dark King Fu. Maybe they could have done a little bit better there. It made it to where Dark King Fu and Towa have more than one link. So demonic power, solid support, battlefield diva, master of magic, thirst for conquest, scientist, and shattering the limit is her link set. We're gonna have to get Towa, Demon Goddess Towa, and Dark King Fu as a rotation. We have to get that as a rotation for Towa, right? To see Towa with all... Oh, no! Are you kidding me? Right? No! Alright, jumping back in. All the blabbering away, and then right when we get to the attack, right? Okay, so here we go. So our girl Towa gets her attack in. There we go. Yes. Alright. So there's kind of like Towa doing her thing, right? Dodge, support, and then she's got that. Let's just go ahead and skip ahead to Towa's next turn. We'll keep talking about her here. Alright, we could see here that this is where Towa can have a nice little effect, right? Like, look at this. We just have a field full of SCR key spheres. Now, in my experience using Dark King Fu in, like, you know, all right, like, time for, like, tough fights, you know, like, we're doing, like, you know, we're fighting Omega, we're fighting Fusions and Monster, we're fighting some of these tough bosses. I have not had, like, Fu hasn't felt like he fails routinely to me. So, you know, it's like, Towa can certainly help, but it doesn't feel like she's, like, you know, 100% necessary. I do think that perhaps next year after her EZA, it could, I mean, I think she could be decent. The only thing I think that this Towa would really have needed here is going to be just better links with Fu. Or, well, that's one, and then two would be upgraded dodge chance. I'm not the biggest fan of 30% dodge on characters that aren't really going to be tanking normals. A lot of times people will say, oh my god, but this idiot loves dodge builds and all his characters. Yeah, because that's like kind of like the final line of defense, right? Like, you know, this one crit right here is not typically going to win you the fight. This additional is not going to win you the fight, but like dodging the big boss super attack could, right? Like a last line of defense. Towa is a free-to-play character who is essentially going to be dodge or die. Dodge or die with a 30% chance, that's not looking too good. All right, now let's get a rotation where all these Towa links are up next to, like, Demon Goddess Towa or something like that. All right, so this is the rotation that we'd want to see where we actually have a lot of these links for Towa actually activated, right? Towa, I mean, she is going to get, I mean, quite a bit of stats from these links. I mean, Demonic Power, we're looking at 20% attack, 10% defense. Solid Support's giving 15% attack. Master of Magic, which is this one right here, is giving us 15% attack. Obviously, Thirst for Conquest is a great villain link. This is giving us 15% attack and defense. And then Scientist over here, 2 key, 20% defense. So, Towa is just going to generally have a lot more stats on a rotation where we're next to another Towa to give her the support, right? And we can see here she's at 276 right there. That's much higher start of turn defense than we've actually seen. So, all right. Let's just go ahead and see what we're going to get. All right, nice super attack dodge for Fu. Yeah, Fu gets his orbs, and, you know, he's able to get some of those in right there. Some of those super attack dodges. We love those. All right, so Towa's at 5.44. So remember, that's 5.44. She's also getting the support. I mean, to be fair, right here, she probably would be, like, maybe be able to tank some normals of some of these bosses. And remember, Towa, of course, is a villain character. It's the superclass characters who can really, really get hit and just take massive damage. Villains just have generally a little bit of an easier time in some of the tougher red zone fights. So there is Towa. I mean, we've pretty much gone over everything with her. Oh, the last thing I guess I should say, the one thing I didn't mention, her super attack effect is very bad. Only 50% attack. She's not getting defense. She's not lowering enemy attack. No stuns, no seals, no nothing like that. That's pretty bad. That's where, like, you know, looking at that, like, they intentionally hold back, like, because this is a free-to-play character. I mean, she should be getting 50% defense and at least an attack debuff, or maybe sealing, or maybe stunning, or something like that. So there, of course, is the Towa. All right, this is Ambition to rebuild the Demon Realm Towa. Her leader skill is the Dragon Ball Hero category key 3 and 50% stats. Her super attack is the Hellish Surprise, which gives her 50% attack for 1 turn, and then she does supreme damage to the enemy. Again, that's kind of like the major issue right there. Well, one of, I guess, kind of like the two, is no defense. Like, as a free-to-play character, like, that's just not, we gotta get defense right there, man. We gotta. Her passive skill, Extracted Dark Factor. She gets 150% attack and defense at the start of turn. She gets 100% attack and defense when performing a super attack. Then she does a 30% chance of dodging as the second or third attacker in the turn. Then she gives all allies 20% attack and defense if there's another 3 or more extreme class allies in the team. And then if there's another 3 or more extreme class allies in the team, she also gets the 50% attack and defense when performing a super attack. She gives all allies 1 key and 10% attack and defense, and changes AGL key spheres to SCR key spheres if all allies are in the Dragon Ball Hero category. So, I mean, I like what we've got here with a free-to-play character that's, you know, supporting and stuff like that, but dodging plus supporting is good. But maybe a little bit stronger. I mean, just because characters are free to play does not mean that they need to be, like, very iffy, right? Like, I mean, if we're being real here, I don't know why she can't just have a 70% chance to dodge as second or third attacker in the turn, right? Her links are Demonic Power, Solid Support, Battlefield Diva, Master of Magic, Thirst for Conquest, Scientist, as well as Shattering the Limit. So her link set is certainly not very good, unless we, of course, have another TOWA next to her or something like that. 12 key multiplier, 135%. That is a bit, I guess, on the lower end. Typically, it's 140, but not a big deal. And then finally, TOWA's on a number of categories here, but I mean, for the most part, we'd probably only really want to run her on a full Heroes theme. So she, of course, is on Dragon Ball Heroes. She's on Peppy Gals as well, which, you know, always gets a steady string of characters. She's also over here on the, this is Resurrected Warriors right here, the Resurrected Warrior category team. She's also over here on the Time Traveler category team. We also have her on Sibling Bond. Then we have her on the Terrifying Crossover category team, or the Terrifying Conquer crossover team. She's also on Battle of Wits, and then finally she, of course, is on the actual crossover team. So there we go. There's a free-to-play TOWA. Maybe one kind of unfortunate thing is that TOWA is already like a named character we had in-game, right? Like we had the Xenoverse collab TOWA. So maybe, you know, it always is nice to have all these goofy, quirky characters, but I mean, TOWA at least has got the makings of what could be a decent character next year. I think next year her EZA could potentially be very solid, depending upon how they increase her dodge chance, her support, and, you know, make her super attack effect better. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch y'all next time.